Cats.
No.
Oh,
cats
good.
for you.
Oh, I felt bad. Never mind. I was gonna say, oh look, good. Ad for sick kids, and then it was a charity stream. So I felt like a real asshole.
Today's just a weird day.
Shall we get started then?
Sure.
Sure.
Yes.
No, let's wait an hour.
Shut the fuck up.
There you go.
Welcome to the Forum Threat Podcast number 70. I'm your host, Darkwood Dre. Here with me today, we've got Chaos Mana,
Hello.
Nobod, Mr. Fusion,
Hello, everybody.
and Wubwave.
Why am I last?
Silver. Because he's going
that's the
alphabetical.
order- No, that's the order that it popped up on my picture. Your pictures are all lined up on my TV screen right now, and I just went from left to right. You're the last one on there. Sorry, that's the real reason.
I
No,
propose
he
a
wanted to put me
meritocracy.
second.
You know, you just need to change your Skype name to a Webwave, and then problem solved.
A1.
Is that what Twitch does? Does it arrange the people in alphabetical order, or
I have
did you all
no
just
idea.
happen to sign on
Do you mean
in
Skype?
alphabetical order today?
I think
What
it's
did I
just,
say,
it
Twitch?
just happened to sign on that way.
Yeah. Good job, guys. You signed on in alphabetical order. That's an accomplishment for something, right?
Wow. We are,
Yeah.
I was
we are
watching
prepared
this.
for kindergarten.
I was watching the stream chaos. We have a TFT Minecraft server? What? What is
It's
that?
a TFT world, but soon we will have a TFT Minecraft server starting just before this Sunday when we're doing something. I'm going to be creating a server anyway that no one will be able to get on until after we finish.
Excellent.
Guys, I
What?
just got an achievement on this game that I'm playing called Oops Symptom Combo. Sneezing and diarrhea are causing unwanted accidents, lowering productivity and drawing attention to my virus.
Is that the
That
Obamacare achievement?
Does Obamacare make
It
people
could
sneeze
be.
and shit themselves?
It does a lot of that, yeah.
Yeah, you
Amongst
didn't
other
know
things.
this already, Wubs?
I think it was
Apparently
an unwanted
not.
accidents joke.
Yeah.
Oh.
He
And that
don't know.
disease
He don't
toppled
know.
the government,
So-
Doc.
I've toppled many governments in this game. They're at 90% for their cure, and I've already killed 6 billion people. I've got less than a billion left to go. And just for anyone listening in, I am currently playing Plague Inc. on my phone right now. It's a new addiction I'm blaming one of my coworkers for. She introduced it to me last night when I was working.
Plague
Well,
Inc.
I wonder how it does compare to the pandemic game then. Like, is it better or is it
Probably
just a
less
different
flashy.
version?
I don't know. I didn't play the pandemic game, so I don't have anything to compare it to. But I'm told that it's similar.
And they have a PC version, Plague Inc. Evolved.
Ooh la la.
How
Well,
is it
this was
evolved?
the free version,
I don't
so
know.
it's definitely not evolved. China's government has fallen.
Nobody
All
So
because
what I
of
would like to
sneezing
talk
and shitting
about-
at the same time.
Just to change gears away from the game, because
Okay,
I was interested
how
in
to
what
beat
you were
China.
talking about earlier, Mr. Fusion, with the recent death of Robin Williams and him being a WoW player. So, do you know what it is that they're doing in his honor?
Let me pull it up because I brought it up briefly, and I know Nobot has a problem with it because they're memorializing him and not everyone else, which is fine. We'll discuss that in a sec. But Robin Williams, everyone knows him, young or old. He was a comedic icon, and I'll tell you some of the contacts I've met over the years in the movie industry. One thing I've heard, because I was a big fan of his growing up. As a kid, two of my favorites were John Ritter and Robin Williams, and both are gone, which is very saddening to think about. He was a very kind man, very great to work with. So, and he He pushed some crappy movies out there, but he also put some pretty entertaining stuff. But he was a big WoW player, and apparently there was a petition on change.org recently, and they received enough signatures, so they're going to do some type of memorial in the game for him with an NPC or something of that sort.
That'd be
Oh,
interesting.
so this was a change.org thing. I didn't realize. I thought this
It
was just
wasn't-
something they
yeah,
decided to do.
It wasn't just them coming forward and say, "Hey, we're just going to do this." It was just kind of an idea, like, what if we did this?
Yeah. So,
okay,
I mean,
so that makes me feel a little bit different about it now. When you first told me, I had initially jumped to the conclusion that, oh, well, they're doing whatever they can to just capitalize on this tragedy, and kind of made me feel a little bit irked at the gesture there, but
okay,
Well,
so
they've
the
done
it. I feel a
change.org
little bit
makes you
different
feel a
about
little
it now.
better then.
Just a little bit. If people were voting for it, you know, they want, you know, it's something that the players wanted to see, then it makes a little bit more sense.
I believe
guess.
they've done it before for like other people that weren't, super famous. Like I think there was a story of a guy who died of something, and they put him in as an NPC. Don't quote me on that, because all I just
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe my logic is a little bit fuzzy on this, but if it's something that Blizzard would have just done, like, oh, Robin Williams has passed away, let's put something in the game to draw more players, then that would have been really shitty of them. Which this is in effect probably will do, but this is something that the players were like, hey, we all know Robin Williams plays WoW. Why don't you guys put something in there? So it's something that the community asked them to do, and it's not something that they just decided to do to capitalize on it. So it may still make money for them, but it's something the community asked them to do.
Yeah.
no, I
think.
see your point.
And
That's kind of where I'm saying.
And
Yeah,
I'm
but
gonna
they've also
I'm
done
gonna
it
give
before.
Nobot a chance to say something because you seem to
I
have,
don't have
a
anything to say.
bit of vitriol when I brought it up. What's wrong with that? Do you have a
I
problem
don't-
with them doing that?
No, I don't have anything to say.
Yeah, you have a problem, Nobod?
You had a lot to say
something?
earlier.
I
Yeah,
have
you
nothing
see,
to say.
you're a chattermouth before the podcast. I need you to be at that during the
I
podcast.
don't have anything to say though.
1v1
So,
me
what
in
you were
real
saying
life.
earlier was that. Yeah,
What
well,
was I saying
I will quote you as best I can. You said something along the lines of, "Lots of people die when that play the World of Warcraft, and they don't get anything made in their honor." And you seemed rather miffed about that. So please
people have, I believe.
explain what you're talking about.
I'm a good actor. I don't really care.
Wait, what?
I don't care.
Then why would you
He's
bring it
just
up if
trolling.
you don't care?
He's
I
trolling
didn't
for the
bring it
sake
up on
of
the
trolling.
podcast because I don't care. I brought it up before because, well, it wasn't on the podcast.
That doesn't. Why? That doesn't.
He's
make
trolling
any
for the
sense.
sake of trolling, is what he's saying.
Yeah, but we need you to
Oh
troll
my
on the
gosh.
podcast if you're going to do it.
That's
the
my
time to
job.
do it.
This
But
is
I
why
don't
we can't
remember.
have nice
I'll
things.
troll when I can remember what I'm saying. I don't
Okay.
remember what
Okay.
I said
That'll-
before.
Well,
That'll be
here's the
never.
problem
All right,
I
let's
have.
Get him
Look,
some mental health.
I understand. Yeah, this whole thing, and if there's anything to come of it, and it'll be a sad thing that this puts mental health at the forefront of where we're at in terms of our society, and I hate for that to be the reason why, but I think we know this. Some people on the podcast, others that listen or on the Rooster Teeth site struggle with mental health, and recently with my medical issues, I've been dealing with bouts of that as well. And I can tell you, in the past, I used to just basically say, just turn it off, And I have family and friends and people very close to me that suffer from it, and I used to always be of the mindset where just turn it off. If you have depression, then just stop being depressed, and it's not that simple. And I've had
Like
to learn that the hard way, and I've
Like the song from Book
Like
of
what?
Mormon. Turn it off.
Yeah, and I've learned to understand that now, and what's going on with him and his apparent suicide. It's very sad, and it just the response has been they're the just normal intellectual people that are just very sad about it, and they're talking about it, discussing it, and then there are the people that are out there making really horrible threats and jokes to his family on social media, and that's just not cool.
I think.
I don't even.
Has
know why
everyone
someone
seen
would-
the? Has everyone seen the meme-ish, but pics where it zoomed in on the I guess statement from the family of the guy, and it said that they just wanted to be left alone. They wanted privacy during this difficult time, and then
Oh yeah,
right
it was on the CNN website. They posted a family statement. We want to be alone at this time to mourn, and then right above that there's a banner that says
yeah,
aerial view of the Williams family home.
why?
Wow, that's
The media, that's nothing
all
new,
sorts
though.
of disrespectful right there.
That's nothing
And
new.
what's
It's
the
common
point of
knowledge
showing the
that media
home?
It
It's
is,
not
it's
like
not.
they're going to show anything else. Why would you even want to see an aerial of the home?
because the media is a bunch of dicks.
Yes, they are a
Pretty
bag of
much.
dicks.
A
They
bag
Yeah,
of
that's,
dicks.
that's one of the reasons why I don't even bother watching like news on the TV anymore. It's all sensational bullshit. It's not
Yeah.
even real news anymore.
Yeah, but did you hear about Ebola and how it's going to kill everyone?
Yeah, exactly.
How this disease that's been around for like centuries is now a big deal?
Yeah, I'm still concerned about D1.
You better be.
Is that a
No, you
Dungeons
shouldn't
and
be
Dragons
concerned about
term or
D1
something?
D1.
What is that?
No, you weren't
Sure.
here when I explained that. On the game that I'm playing, that was my first strain of virus. It didn't last very long, so you've got nothing to worry. It only killed a few thousand people.
Oh. But the media is going to make it seem like it killed everyone. So there you go.
Yeah.
They sneezed
gonna-
and then shit
They're
themselves.
gonna make it sound
and
like
dropped
my
a hammer
current
on their
strain.
head.
Well,
D5,
here's what happens when there's a breaking story. They basically get a hard on because they can go into full coverage of this breaking news big event, and it becomes just their ratings bonanza. And if there's a shooting, if there's a major death, like with his passing and all that, it becomes hysteria for them. They can go into and just wall to wall coverage, and they know that people are going to be tuning in, fixated by it. And it's unfortunate because when I first got into the media, I could see that becoming the norm, and then social media and the internet were becoming a bigger thing. And when I got out of it, social media still wasn't big. Twitter was around, but it wasn't as big as it was. It was just this little thing that people still were trying to figure out. Facebook was still something people were trying to figure out, and the instant media wasn't there. But now that that's there, the regular media, their goal is to try to one up, try to sensationalize it, keep you in, because why bother when you can just keep track of everything on Twitter instantly,
Yeah, the actual TV news is pretty much irrelevant now. There's no reason to tune in and watch it unless you just want something displayed on the screen that's going to scare you.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all you see on there.
Yeah, the way I got news was not by seeing those things. I got better, sometimes even more, like, overall coverage of the news just by watching the Late Late Show, because he would talk about the relevant topics, but he would spin them in a funny way, and it wouldn't be just everything is doomed, everything is going crazy, privacy. You're just like, oh yeah, there's this thing, this is going
Same
on.
thing
this
with
is happening.
like Jon Stewart and the Colbert Report. That's how I got my news for a long time, and now I don't watch any of it. I don't care.
I actually listened to the Forum Thread podcast to get my news.
We're the
You have
best,
no
the
idea
best
what's
source
going to
of news.
happen in the world, and then you have no idea. We're the worst.
So anyway, other than that, this really crappy movie came out this weekend called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Anybody go see it?
Wait,
I saw
No,
Guardians of the
uh,
Galaxy
crappy?
instead.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Good
Did
see.
you go
job.
watch that, Webwave?
I already did.
What'd you think?
Who are you asking?
Shitty. No, I'm
Well,
kidding. It was
boy.
pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just try to see that Saturday, I think. So
You're gonna try? No, you're gonna do.
no,
You're
no,
gonna
we just
try.
don't know when. We assume it's gonna be Saturday.
I would like to spend a little bit of time talking about Guardians of the Galaxy, though. That's all right. Before we
I
talk
have
about
no
Yes.
problem going back to that.
Teenage Mutant
I
Hulk
think we're at
turtles
the
that
po-
can throw cargo
Yeah,
containers and
exactly.
stop
I
bullets
think we're
with
at the
their
point
face.
now. Where we can go ahead and spoil some stuff with Guardians now. People have.
Oh, now we have permission.
There's
I
not
think
much
we're
to
at that mark.
spoil.
We're at 2 weeks now.
I mean, to be honest, there's not much to
Uh-huh.
spoil. The story is pretty basic, but it's mostly about the characters instead of the actual story. Because the story is basically bad guy, stop bad guy, we win.
Yeah.
And watch
Yeah.
Thor. Make sure you watch Thor before you watch Guardians of the Galaxy.
Wait, why?
You mean
You mean you need to watch the post-credit scene?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I saw the first Thor, but I did not see Thor: Dark World. Is that the second one's title?
Yes.
I have not seen that yet.
I really
so
want to see
I
that one too.
missed
It was
that little
alright.
bit of
Pretty good.
trivia.
Yeah,
I
that's pretty
like
good.
I like the Thor's universe especially.
Captain
Everyone's opinions of that
America: The
movie
Winter
just
Soldier
greatly
was by
varied.
far the best Marvel movie until
That was
Guardians
a
of the
good movie.
Galaxy, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
Winter Soldier was
Yeah.
pretty good. But back to Guardians of the Galaxy. I was really glad that they improved upon the Avengers formula of having a group of people and actually giving them all a decent amount of screen time, which I felt Avengers
Yeah.
didn't do. Avengers was like Bruce Banner and Tony Stark and those other guys.
Yeah.
Which is the god, the demigod, the Norse god of thunder. We're just gonna make him an ancillary character. Yeah, I kind of got that too.
Yeah.
But that's something you'll see in the Marvel movies in general. Like every not every time, but almost every time a new movie comes out, it has an improvement in it that takes what they learned from the previous movie and have tried to make it better.
Which
I'm
I was-
glad
I
we're
was-
working towards
I
something
see
like
this
that.
as a natural progression in that, where they're definitely going to keep on trying to improve the quality of their stuff as it comes out.
Which I was really glad to
So
see in
maybe,
Guardians of the Galaxy. Like even the character is I never read the comics, so I didn't know the characters, but Drax the Destroyer, when I first saw the trailer, I was like, oh, he's gonna be the big guy that just sort of stands around and maybe emotes with his face but doesn't say much, but he had some really funny dialogue. Batista was a surprisingly good actor.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would necessarily call it acting as much as just reciting lines in a surprised tone.
But the
Well,
timing was
voice acting.
his timing was perfect though on those jokes.
I know. I did
He
love
was
his
better
character.
than expected, I should say. Yeah.
Yes, he was.
Yes, definitely better than expected. I would
Never
like to
call
see
me at the
him
chorus.
in a different role that actually required some range, but for his character, it was spot on, definitely. Though
Never call me
I
at
think
the
my
source.
favorite characters had to have been Rocket and Groot.
Rocket was
they were my favorites.
great.
It did have
I
sort of
liked
that
how
that Han Solo Chewbacca vibe where the one guy just sort of says nonsense and the other guy's like, oh yeah, that makes good sense. Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I mean, I'm not sure if that's a reference or if it was just inspired by quotes.
I don't
but
know.
I'm just saying.
It might have been, or you have the impression that the two of them have a pretty long history together. So I think it could be quite possible that he can understand what Groot's saying just through the tone in Groot's voice.
It's hard to imagine what this movie. I'm getting a very vague impression of what it's going to be like, but I'm glad I didn't even read like any of the comics. I'm going to come in completely fresh and actually be able to see everything.
I do think some of the hype was a little much, but it was a fun, entertaining movie.
Well, Chaos.
I had someone else ask me if it lived up to the hype, but I didn't see much hype. I don't know if I just was living under a rock the entire time. I saw about
Might have
3
been.
previews.
The
and
hype
that
came,
was it.
The hype came after it debuted. That was the thing. There wasn't a lot of hype in it going into the movie, but after it screened that first weekend, there was a ton of hype because it was 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. Every
Well,
critic.
does that really count as hype then? Because if everyone likes the movie, it's not really hype. It's
No.
actual critical reviews.
But from
No,
what
it
you
just-
expect,
it becomes part of the internet culture where if something is really entertaining and popular, then we all have to say it's overrated. That's just basically where we're at now.
well, I'm not saying it's
Yeah.
overrated. I thought it was a very good movie, but from what people
I think
were
that's called
saying and what
being
my
a hipster.
yeah, shut up. I'm not a hipster. How dare you? But I'm just saying that from what I expected and from what people said and what I saw were different, but that doesn't mean bad, is what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
Like I expected like a giant grand space opera when it was sort of just more of like a comedy action movie, you know?
You didn't read my review, did you? I say what it is in the movie in the review. You didn't read it, you son of a bitch.
Do you read my journals?
Oh snap! But he has a lot of
Didn't
journals.
think so.
Sometimes.
Really.
Yeah, it was my
It
last
wasn't a
one.
journal though. I posted it on the official forum thread Facebook page, which you are following. So you should be reading it.
Yeah.
So did you stay through the credits, Wobboy, for
No,
the movie?
I have no patience for that. Like, it's always like
What?
they'll always give like a reference to something I don't
So
understand.
important.
Like, look, it's like
Did you
God.
You would
Or-
have gotten this
Reveal,
one.
Reveal, and
this
I'm
was
like-
a
We
reference
talked
that-
about it. We talked about it on this podcast. I think I introduced the character to you. Do you remember us talking about Howard the Duck? The episode with Duck Tits.
No. I feel like I would remember that though. I don't.
Ugh. So I talked about this movie Howard the Duck, which was also based on a Marvel comic book, and for the longest time it was the go-to movie to prove that you could not turn a comic book into a movie up until like the second or third Batman movie came out. But yeah, at the end there's a brief scene with, I think it's a CG, it could be puppet with CG features on it, of an updated version of Howard the Duck, sitting inside the room with the collector, just kind of chilling and drinking I don't know, some sort of mixed drink in a glass with him. So I thought that was really. It was just kind of
Commander Shepard was not there, even though there was.
No, it was just kind of a goofy thing to throw in there. Like I thought it was a really good idea. The fact that like for the longest time, like Howard the Duck was kind of like their ugly stepchild, and now that they're just making so much money, and they're so efficient at just cranking out hit after hit after hit, that they can kind of throw that little gem in there and say, "Oh yeah, do you remember Howard the Duck?"
Well,
Or
it's also
Howard
part
the
of
Duck and make it awesome.
Well, it's also part of the whole thing with James Gunn is that, his whole focus was doing an original movie in Phase 2 of Marvel's universe to where it introduced the cosmic side of things for what's coming ahead. And believe me, there's a lot of shit coming ahead down the road in the next few years. But the thing was, that whole point was, at the end of the movie, because it's a Marvel movie, you're expecting something that will tie you into the rest of the universe, and this didn't tie you in at all. This was just James Gunn just saying, "Fuck yeah, fuck it, we're just here to have a good time." That was, we're a Marvel movie and we have the rights to Howard the Duck, so screw it, we're just gonna do a Howard the Duck reference just for the hell of it, and that's what I really appreciated Gunn doing, and it wasn't a typical thing where we were expecting something that was going to be related to Age of Ultron or the next Guardians of the Galaxy or something like that. So
yeah, it was
out
just
of right
like a
field,
random ass
basically.
Easter egg
Yeah.
right there at the end.
I love
was
Easter
the
eggs
only
hidden in
person
movies.
in the theater laughing when he showed up. Everyone else in the theater with me was like, "Who the fuck is that?" I'm like, "Dude, that's Howard the Duck." And then a couple other people behind me were like, "Oh," like they'd heard of him at least, but no one
They
else
didn't
was
know.
laughing. They didn't get it.
I wouldn't have gotten it.
Which I'm kind of sad that I don't think anybody. Not anybody. I don't think most people that go to see this movie will get that reference. They're going to be completely confused when they see that little clip there at the end. And it's just
Fucking
a shame.
young
It's
people.
just testament to you're starting to get old because you're in an older demographic now that remembers Howard the Duck, an 1986 movie. Most of the people
Well, yeah.
in the theater weren't
I was
even
born in
yet.
'86. I didn't see it then.
I know, but-
I saw it later.
Yeah, you saw
When
it
did
as a
Howard the
kid.
Duck become a demographic?
What's that?
Howard the Duck now defines demographics. That's just how far Marvel has come. Their worst has defined demographics.
Well, they've come so far to where they can throw a shitty little reference in there and not affect their financial standing in terms of revenue generation from the movie at all. It doesn't affect that. This is just a big
I think it's
whatever.
also an interesting. I don't know if you could call it a statement, but it's just kind of interesting to see the evolution of the comic book movie. How Howard the Duck was probably one of the first comic book turned movies, aside from
Really?
mainstream Superman, or was there a older Batman movie? I know there was an old Superman movie, I think.
Well, the first Batman came in 1989. Well, there was a '60s Adam West Batman movie, but it wasn't.
Yes.
It wasn't in the theaters. It wasn't an actual
Okay.
movie. It was just Batman the movie. But
It was a
Batman
TV
came out in
movie.
movie. Yeah, Tim Burton's
it was-
Batman.
Then I'll just go with one of the first comic book to actual movie transitions that they'd done, and it was pretty tragic. And for the longest time, the comic books had the same problem that the video game movies had, where they just kind of are okay to they're just absolutely terrible. And just to see that transformation now, where you can take pretty much any comic book franchise and with the right direction and right creative team, just turn it into a phenomenal movie. Even something as obscure and out in left field as Guardians of the Galaxy. Could you imagine someone pitching the idea for Guardians of the Galaxy 10 years ago? It never would have been greenlit. Nada. And
That would
the
have been
fact that
awesome if they had tried to do the exact same movie that long ago, and then the producers laughed and stuff, and then the same guy tries to do it again, and then actually gets to kind of do the reverse and spit in the face of the producers.
Well, you know,
Oh, they should do a movie like that.
2 years
Well-
ago when they announced Guardians of the Galaxy, people were laughing at them because they're like, what story is this? Because, I mean, mainstream comic book people, they didn't know who Guardians of the Galaxy were. You know, they didn't know who they were. And it's a
Yeah,
comic
they
book
just
that's been
want
around
Batman.
since the 60s.
I think that actually, for me anyway, that helped my experience a bit because I didn't have any pre-ideas, any expectation going in as to what the characters are going to be about. Whereas something with Spider-Man or Superman or Batman, they're so well ingrained into pop culture that you kind of already know who they are, so it makes an origin story pretty redundant for the most part. You have no reason to watch an origin story because you already know the characters.
Right.
But I think that's what made Guardians so refreshing for me is I didn't know who these characters were, so I genuinely got to see them for the first time, let them introduce themselves to me, and then get to know them from there. I didn't have any preconceived ideas, and I really enjoyed that. That's the first Marvel movie where I did not have any expectation as to who these characters might be, and I really liked that fact.
Didn't
about
last week you say that there wasn't much exposition? And
There wasn't.
And developed, and that drove the movie?
There wasn't.
Pretty good.
There was like no
There
exposition.
was just the right amount.
Yeah, I
of-
like sometimes when they actually do something like that, as long as you do it in the right way and not just do it like droning on to give everything out.
There's enough in there. You know what's going on, but it's the characters talking with each other, but they never actually stop to sit here and say, we're going to explain the plot now.
There's
Mm.
no
and then
like,
explain the plot.
there's no narrator at the beginning that's like, 30 years ago, the fucking Noxians fought the Demacians and the blah blah blah, and none of that. It's always
Right.
like,
and
these guys hate each other, and
yes,
yeah. That's about it.
Or you actually see the events that happen. So someone does something, someone else gets pissed off about it, someone else gets direction from someone else to do something about it. You get to see everything happening, so there's never any need for someone to stop and explain why.
And at the same time, it
someone
wasn't
is
a
doing what they're
typical
doing.
comic book origin story first film.
Oh.
You spent
That's true, too.
You spent 5 minutes at the very beginning learning about
They,
Peter Quill, and then you just jump into it, full steam ahead.
you
from
don't
start
get
to
any
finish.
backstory for the characters, or how much
You
are
have
you told?
you learn along the way who they are, and then
Yes, it's
they go
very
into some
subtle
depth.
sometimes.
Because I mean, I
You have
enjoy
to-
like seeing where each of the characters come from, which is why like I want some backstory.
There
for
was
certain
one
things.
case where I felt it may have needed a little bit more, and that was with the green girl. I don't remember the character's name, but she's the assassin, and
Kara,
Gamora.
Gamora, her, yeah, that
Ghidorah,
one.
King Ghidorah,
In the
yeah. She,
in the
because in the
movie-
movie.
Go ahead, Webwave. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, I think I'm on like a slight delay, so I keep like either interrupting or being interrupted. But yeah,
It's
so
all right, go ahead.
it starts off. She's like, "I'm working for the bad guy." Not a spoiler. It's like she works for the bad guy for like 5 minutes, and then she's like, "Okay, now I'm working with you guys against the bad guy." Because
That
reasons.
was the biggest complaint I heard in terms
Yeah.
of the plot. That was the only major hole was that she did a 180 in within 2 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
Well, I can't
She's a
even
wild
fault
card.
the movie for that. She gives a reason for it, and later on, as she talks about what's happened, you understand why she did that and how she never really was working for the bad guy. As far as we saw her in the movie, she took an order from them, but then she explains that she actually had no intention in doing what he said. She was just going along with it. She had secondary plans all along.
I'm just saying it could have
So,
used a little bit
I don't
more.
have a problem with that.
They could just use a little
wasn't
bit
very
more.
clear.
Yeah.
No.
I would have liked them to expound on her backstory a little bit more, but I have a distinct feeling that we're actually going to get into that a little bit more in the next
That
movie,
would be fine
considering
if
the way
they did
set
do
things
kind of this first movie as an introductory one, and then they possibly even do side things or whatever. But in the second one, they go further back. It's good to not start off with, "Hey, this is this big universe. Let's tell you everything about it we can with all these characters." If you just kind of start it up, and then if you want to know more, you can watch this, or you can just watch the second movie.
Well,
That's a problem that a lot of sequels have, I think, where when you have a new franchise or a new movie like that, you have that sense of newness, that sense of wonder, and that sense of exploration. You can't wait to find out more about this world that you're in. But then you get to the sequel, and they're like, yeah, so we've introduced you to the world. We don't have anything new to bring to the table. So here's the first movie all over again, just with a slightly different plot. And I really hope they don't do this. This is such a rich universe that they're creating that there's just a shit ton of stuff that they can do to not allow this to stagnate.
Oh, you're right. And it'll be interesting because by the time the second film comes around, you're going to have Ant-Man, you're going to have Doctor Strange, you're going to be gearing up for Avengers 3, and so where do they go?
Gotta say, I'm not excited about Ant-Man at all. It's my critical side
Now,
coming out
let
of
me
me.
ask
like,
you,
God,
had Edgar Wright stayed on as director, would you have been interested still? Would you have been interested at all?
No, from the time they announced it, I thought, oh my God, this character sounds retarded. I will still go see this movie. I probably will definitely go see it, probably with a group of people. But I'm going to go in it expecting to. I don't know what to expect. I'm just not excited about it at all. Just for the premise of the character. But I'm still going to give it a shot. The premise of the character sounds absolutely ridiculous, retarded, moronic, whatever. It's stupid.
Were you
But
excited
I'll
about?
watch it anyway, just to see what they do with it.
A talking
Were you
raccoon?
excited?
I mean, seriously.
Yeah, were you excited about Guardians of the Galaxy before you saw it?
I had no idea what it was, but the moment I saw the preview for it, I was like, holy shit, I need to see this. I have
Maybe you'll
no
feel-
idea what I just saw.
I haven't even seen the preview. I'm gonna just avoid seeing anything else about it until I actually go see it in the theaters.
Yes, and you better see that as fast as you can. That way, it doesn't get spoiled for you one way or the other. Because I've been trying not to
Yeah,
go into details
same
about
here.
stuff.
Same
I
It's
saw it in-
really hard not to.
If you have the opportunity, I would also say see it in 3D because actually seeing it in 3D was
Yes.
pretty cool.
Oh, hell yes.
They
Like-
do 3D well.
I would say,
Yes,
yeah.
this movie, normally 3D gives me a headache, and I can't vouch definitely that it was just this particular movie or the theater. Ken and I, we went to go see it in the IMAX theater in 3D, so they had the good quality glasses there, but yeah, it was fucking awesome.
There
It
were some really
feels-
cool effects.
Yeah, aside from like not having the seats shaking whenever an explosion happens, it was very immersive.
That would have been
The way that-
awesome if they went a further step up and did that too.
Like one of the
Yeah,
first.
that's the 4D thing they do at theme
I-
parks. Sorry, Wobwave, go ahead.
Oh, no problem. I was gonna say one of the first effects that they did that was really cool in 3D was like at the very beginning of the movie when he's going to those ruins and he brings up that like holographic projection and it like shows the line on the ground. It looks like something out of a video game. That looked so fucking awesome in 3D.
Yeah, basically my question was, there's like kind of two kinds of 3D, when they just put a movie in 3D or they make it for a 3D kind of
No,
perspective.
this film was recorded for 3D. You can see it in pretty much every single shot, and especially the space chases that they do. Yeah, everything was designed with the 3D in mind, so it really gives you the sensation that these things are you're following. You're not just following behind a ship sometimes, but you're actually like following them through this wreckage. And then when things explode, it's not just stuff intentionally coming at the screen, but there was a couple times where they actually did that, where you have explosion, 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 and then a little piece of shrapnel would come towards the screen. And a couple of times I wound up flinching, and I caught myself like, "Oh, it got me! It got me! I wasn't expecting that," because they don't.
I did that
overdo
once too.
The gimmick.
I
Yeah.
flinched once
And
in the
it's a
movie theater
welcome.
too. I
It's a
felt
welcome
creepy.
thing, I think. Yeah, because when they don't play it up, when they're not constantly just throwing stuff. Here, look at this stuff sticking out of the screen at you. But when they save it for special occasions, it can really add to the experience. So yes, go see it in 3D if you can. It's
Take
awesome.
this thing here.
Oh, that's what pissed me off about 300 when it came out. I saw it in 3D, and they did so many of those cheap shots,
Really?
like where they have an arrow sticking out of the screen or
I
a
didn't know
big
that
pointy
was in
stick
3D.
sticking out of the screen. Yeah, it was. Now the arrow barrages, they looked pretty cool. But still, they had set it up to where it's pretty much just arrows coming out of the screen at you. So it's really cheap shots, and when you watch it in 2D, you're sitting there wondering, who was the cinematographer drunk? Like, what happened here? Why is this shot this way?
Dark.
Did
So,
you?
yeah.
Was it the
What?
first 300 or the sequel?
I I don't know.
Was it with
I don't
boats
remember.
or was
I
it
didn't like it.
was it with boats?
Was it 300 or 301?
Was it 300 or 300 with
It was
boats?
not 301.
No
I
bud,
thought it was
ladies
the
and
old
gentlemen.
one,
We
the
are
old
all
300.
weak. Try the fish.
I'm
Well,
pretty sure it was the old one.
The sequel just
I'm
came
pretty
out,
sure.
didn't it?
Okay. Like
no,
a
no,
year
I did
ago,
not
I
see
think.
I did not see the sequel because I didn't like the first one. I didn't like it, but it was pretty to look at.
Yeah.
I'm sure you liked
And
all the
that's-
abs. I'm sure you did, Dark.
Not really,
All those
because you know
computer-generated abs.
those computer-generated abs were constantly being stabbed and maimed and stuff. So it was more like, hey, that looks nice. Oh wait, it's bleeding now. No, I'm not interested.
I mean, that's what got me off, right, guys? Right?
Well, just because you're into snuff films doesn't mean that everyone else is.
Stabbing jokes.
Did you also like Passions of the Christ?
No, I never watched it.
A 2-hour torture sequence or something like that? I didn't
Oh.
see it either. I'm just going off of that South Park episode where they make fun of it.
The book was better.
It was based on a book, really?
Yeah, it was. It's called the Bible.
I don't think that quite counts, but I'll take that burn. Sure.
Well, you guys were speaking about Easter eggs earlier, and I wanted to bring this up, but I didn't want to stop the conversation. I've been playing a dickload of Saints Row 3. That I didn't realize that.
Better on the Xbox, by the way.
No, it's bullshit. Didn't realize that the big, like, mega, ultra evil corporation in Saints Row 2 and throughout the Saints Row series is Ultora. Ultor. Ultora. And apparently in Red Faction, in 2070, the big evil corporation is Ultora. So I wonder if they take place in the same universe or if it's just an Easter egg. Like a really big, grand Easter egg. That's just what I want to know.
Maybe, yeah, it's probably a really big, grand Easter egg.
No, it's
My
a
head's
conspiracy. It's a gaming universe conspiracy that you're supposed to make a video about how much research you put into it.
Yeah, I'll have like a big board with like lines between it and be like, look,
Lines,
look, it's true.
and then you'll start freaking out and throw the board down.
You're gonna be like Joel in that one episode of the podcast where he's just freaking out saying random things.
Joel does that a lot. He freaks out.
It's like he has Tourette's.
I meant the one on the RTAA, the more famous one. You think Joel has Tourette's?
He could have Tourette's, or he acts like he has Tourette's.
Oh gosh.
It's
Too bad
possible.
they're not, like, based on their fan base. Good thing none of like Joel's fans will ever hear this.
You don't know that. There may be a fan in the chat right
Yeah.
now.
I'm a
Sarcasm.
I'm a fan
You
of
don't
Joel.
know.
Tejan
Wanna
Lee's
fight?
probably a huge fan of Joel Heyman. Huge fan, right, Tejan Lee? Huge fan.
Write it in the chat, Cheech.
Just a tad. Just
She has a
Just
shrine
right
to
in
I
it.
can't tell how much of a
Yes.
delay, like the Twitch automatic delay. I can't tell how soon we say something is it then heard.
Probably like
It's usually
30
something
seconds.
like 30 seconds,
Yeah.
I think.
But anyway, besides Guardians of the Galaxy and a bunch of other stuff, how is everyone's week?
Oh, my week has just been absolutely chipper. I've been working lots of night shifts. Ken's been missing me terribly. It's been interesting. He made some fantastic dinner last night,
Ken's
and
thirsty.
he's like,
This is
Yeah,
your
he's-
chance. Well, wave.
he's like, hey, we're making some awesome stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'm totally not gonna be here tonight. I'm gonna be at work. And he's like, really? God damn it. So I got to have that for lunch today. It was
And
really
this
good.
is where the relationship goes down.
So the new job is not working out.
Pier 1, it sucks. I hate interacting with customers, but I don't mind the behind-the-scenes work so much. Like resetting the store, stocking stuff, pulling stuff out of boxes. It's kind of mindless, but at the same time, it's nice to have a goal that I know I can accomplish. It's like, oh, do this, get it done in
Instead
this
of
time frame,
pleasing people.
and work
Gosh,
with
that's
yeah.
impossible.
It's not pleasing people. It's trying to help people that don't want to be helped, you know? So you know, people come into the store. You're like, hey, what can I help you with today? And 9 times out of 10, oh, just looking. Like, oh, great. Well, here's the sales that are going on today. And then you'll occasionally get that one person that actually comes in with something in mind. And they're like, oh, yeah, I came in because I'm looking for something like this. And you're like, oh, okay, let me
And
help
then
you
you
with
have no idea what they're talking about.
Have you? Yeah,
I
have
can
you ever
actually-
been stumped in a situation like that? when you had no idea what
Or
to
else
do?
someone looking for obscure things, and in that case, I just ask someone else or look it up in the computer.
I had a similar. This last couple weeks is because I work at the gallery at my school. We are in the transitional, so we moved everything out, and basically I'm just sitting there, giving people directions. But we also share like a building with a big office called Community Education, and they apparently are under renovation, so they've moved. And for like the last couple weeks, the only thing that I've had to do is tell the people where Community Ed has moved, and I have no idea. I had no idea before. First time someone comes in and goes, "Okay, where's Community Ed? I'm in a big hurry and I need to know where it is." I'm like, I don't fucking know. I'm not part of the department.
But where
I
is
wouldn't
it?
even know that they moved. It's in room 1580 down the hall to the left, a few doors down.
Like, now you actually know, and you can tell them.
Yes. 7 people came in today asking where that room is.
Huh. See, that'd be nice if 7
What if
people came
what
in
if that
during
was
one of
your
my shifts
only
and
hired
actually
job
said,
just
"Hey,
to say that one
I want
phrase?
this. Help me."
That'd
That would be really boring.
They could just have a button that reads it off.
or a sign.
Oh, it'd be just like is it the Staples that has the easy button? Just push that. Instead of it saying, "That was easy," say, "Down the hall and to the left. It's not far from here."
Or a
Yeah,
sign.
you can have two. You have 2 buttons. You can have that button and
Put
then
it
an
up
easy
like a
button.
style it
No,
like a
no,
Minecraft
yeah.
sign and just plunk it down right in front of your door, saying that. I mean,
Just put it
I need
in
to
front
get
of
one
my
of those
desk.
buttons, but instead of saying "that was easy," it should just say "fuck off, asshole."
No, I have to be nice.
There
Nailed it.
probably is one like that.
There probably is. I should
Probably
have
a
that
fuck off
button.
button.
I need
Just
that
make a
button in my life.
soundboard of it.
That's a good idea, actually.
that'd be awesome. They walk in, you just press the button on your keyboard, don't even look at them.
Yeah.
I actually worked with a guy who had made a soundboard of Arnold Schwarzenegger quotes and would play them to telemarketers.
Oh, that's cool.
So he was telling me, I'm gonna just completely butcher this story. The only part of it I really remember, I don't remember what line he used to introduce himself. I think it was a line from True Lies, where do it slowly. But anyway, the part that I thought was funny was a quote from Kindergarten Cop, and where the telemarketer is asking for something, and he asks, "Wait a minute, is your daddy there?" And they're like, "Is your daddy there?" And the telemarketer's like, "Excuse me?" He's like, "Get your daddy!"
I wish I
And
could
the
do that.
telemarketer wound up getting confused and hanging up.
I
He was
would
asking
love to
Arnold
like
Schwarzenegger was
people
asking for
that
daddy.
are clearly
Wow,
doing
that's a
that. I
terrible
would
story. I just fucked
I would
that one
love
up.
to just try something like that, but I have no idea what I would do. Getting a soundboard hooked up sounds awesome.
Game Grumps. Game Grumps. Game Grumps soundboard.
Oh goodness, there's so many quotes to
There's
use.
There's a guy on YouTube called like Jay Azumi. Well, that's all he does over Xbox Live is just like have soundboards. And it's amazing to see how mad people get and they're fighting with a soundboard over Xbox Live. And you're just like, this is great. This is the human condition. They're fighting with a machine.
Oh, I've got a question for you guys. From back to RTX, I was trying to remember that game that we were watching the videos for on YouTube in the hotel room. Was that
Slender. The Slender.
Gmod Slender.
Gmod Slender? It was not so much the game, but it was the video that we were watching. The
Uber-
animated one.
Uber Hacks or Nova.
Yeah. Gmod Slender.
I see you.
Put that
I see
in
you.
the.
No, you don't. Prove it.
Yeah, can you type that into the chat link?
Yeah, I can find it.
for me?
Fun.
So,
Where am I? Tunnel.
I wanted to show Ken that, and I could not, for the life of me, remember what the hell we were
Okay.
watching. I knew it was a Slender game.
There's so
but
many
I
Slender videos on the internet.
There is. I did a YouTube search for it, and I'm like, nope, that's not it. That's not it. And I'm like, oh my god, there's so many pages. I just gave up after.
Do you want
about
the
6
animated?
pages. Like,
Do you want the animated one or like the raw game one?
Of course. The
Oh,
raw
both.
one is
Yeah.
pretty
Link them
entertaining.
both. Link them
Yeah.
both. Yeah. Do that. Thank you.
Yeah, do
Finally.
that.
Do
Do
that
it.
shit.
Yes, do it. Do it now.
Okay, I want to bring this up because it's kind of interesting, but did you hear about the new Silent Hill?
No, I have not. What's going on?
Apparently there's a demo that was announced called PT, which is the playable teaser. There's going to be a new Silent Hill. Hideo
Oh, yeah.
Kojima and Guillermo del Toro
That
are
sounds
going to be
awesome.
heading this up.
What?
Hold on, it gets better. There's more. Norman Reedus is going to be starring in the movie.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, who's that?
Who's that?
Daryl from the Walking Dead TV series.
Oh, see, I haven't started watching The Walking Dead yet.
Okay, you're gonna love Daryl. Trust me, everyone loves Daryl.
But he dies in the comics.
He's dead.
There is no Daryl in the comics. There never was a Daryl in the comics. Nice try.
Damn. Someone
I didn't
finally
read the
caught on to the joke.
Yes. Nice
People
try,
use
though.
that joke and no one ever understands. And they go, what? He does? Like, don't spoil it. And everyone gets mad and it's just like,
And the comic is probably 1,000 times bleaker and more depressing than the TV show.
And that's saying a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
I probably wouldn't be interested in the comic then. I hate comics that take themselves too seriously.
Oh man, this one takes itself seriously and it has no fucking remorse. After the end of every issue, you kind of get more depressed because you're like, fuck. There's no hope at all in that comic. No hope. So
The cover of the last
no-
issue
there
of the
is no-
comic is just solid black. They don't even give you the title.
That reminds me.
Yeah, that's it.
I have a bone to pick.
Issue
It's like, oh,
Who made the
everybody
image
dies.
for
yeah.
Podcast 69? Really? Just black text?
I did. Why?
Just black text that says Podcast 69.
Yeah.
he's not an
Oh.
artist, gosh. Don't make
Yeah.
fun of
What are you
him.
talking
He's
about?
the best.
Are you talking
Yeah.
about YouTube?
And
Yeah.
because
I saw
there's black
Beavis and
text
Butthead.
on the
Yeah,
picture that
Beavis and
says
Butthead.
Podcast 69. That's terrible.
Dude, I did that
That's
while I
the
was at work.
worst.
Cut me some slack. Yes, but they're not going to be watching a video. They're going to be listening
Professional.
to it. That's the point.
They're
No,
gonna
listen.
they're gonna stare at
You know
the
what?
same picture.
Going forward,
Stare at the
going
same picture
forward,
for 2
I'm just
hours.
gonna label. I'm just going to type black text in black text.
That
for
reminds me.
every podcast
Did
I
you?
broke
What was the
up now.
Oh, good.
latest?
Now you'll have to
well,
highlight
not
it.
the latest, but one of the recent Rooster Teeth podcasts where they showed the image that they used for the first patch, and it just says "the patch" in black text. It's
Yeah.
that level of terrible. It's the worst.
Yeah, he just wrote the patch
Yeah.
over it. He just wrote the patch over it. Well, I'm not worried about the image quality on it because it's about the audio quality I worry about. If I'm worried about
I
the
do
image,
try
I
to
would
do
if I
one
just
so
showed
that
video show.
it appears as an attractive thumbnail, like something that would draw you into the topic. But other than that, you don't really.
What would you know
Need
about
to be like-
attractive?
I'll go back and I'll just put a big pair of
As
tits
long as you
on
don't
there.
use
How's
black
that?
text, I'm fine
But
with it.
speaking of audio quality, did anybody catch that Let's Play with Zap45 and Chaos Man? It was a Let's
Mhm.
Play / review that was like 6 minutes long. The audio quality in that was not so
Really?
great, but the game looked pretty interesting. I'll give you that. At least when I was listening to it, your guys' voices both sound crackly. Now, maybe it's just my sound bar.
It is
but
sounded fine
you
to
know what
me.
video
Like,
that
maybe
was.
maybe you
Sounded
were
Crackle
doing stuff on your computer, like your CPU was running hot or something. It was processing something in the background. 'Cause it sounded fine to me.
It's running hot.
No, I've watched.
It
Was
might have
watching
just been
YouTube videos
coincidental.
like for a good chunk
That's
of the
weird.
morning. It was only that video. I reloaded the video and it
That's
still.
Speaking
was
of Let's Plays, though,
crackly sounding.
I just rendered out the
Not-
entirety of the Borderlands 2 footage that me, Chaos, and T. Janley played last Sunday. The batch render function on Sony
Also-
Vegas is godlike. I love it. It's my new favorite thing. I can split the video up into parts, set it to render, and then come home and all 18 parts are rendered. It's great.
Oh, you did take some
pretty-
like the big disaster when Tejan fell to nothingness.
Oh, in the beginning, that was our intro. T-Gen having the orange screen of death.
Oh my goodness.
And I took it.
Wah, wah, wah.
Boy, that doesn't
probably
happen on
not.
Xbox.
He also can't change. I was gonna say a lot of
A
things.
lot
don't
of
happen.
things don't happen on Xbox.
Not good ones.
Porn doesn't happen
I mean, some
on
of those
Xbox.
indie games, though.
Well, speaking of, funny you bring that up. Actually,
We're going to talk about porn on
no,
Xbox.
it's pretty close though.
Oh, damn it.
Apparently, the Xbox One will soon allow MKV files
cool.
to be played. So
Pirate.
And as in porn.
as in your pirated porn and
That's
movies. Yes, folks.
That seems like a really odd thing for Microsoft to intentionally allow support for.
Well, in the past, they didn't allow the MKV because all MKV is it's basically a universal non-defined codec, video codec packet, but it's standard when you pirate movies and torrent them now. They're all in MKV because it's just simply the easiest codec to put them into when you rip them, and the Roku box allows them now as long as the audio quality is a certain setting. A couple of the other digital boxes allow MKVs, but for the longest,
so it's a competition thing.
Yeah.
That's why they're putting it in there.
Yeah.
It makes sense now.
for the longest time, the 360 didn't allow MKVs, and then I think last year they started allowing some specific ones with certain type of resolution settings and audio settings, and it looks like the one.
Man,
will
I wish
allow
I
all
had to
versions
update
of
my
it.
DivX player to
So-
allow for the AA3 audio codec. It was stupid. Not that I have a bunch of DivX files on my hard drive or anything. I do
Yeah,
what?
why don't you just handbrake them?
I've got an unrelated question.
Handbrake.
What happened to that Let's Play that we recorded last week?
Oh, that's
of
going to
Town of
be
Salem?
released very soon. It's in the hopper for editing. We just finished. We just finished
It's in the hopper.
a
It's in.
Halo
What's it in
Halo
the
Let's Play and a
hopper?
Titanfall Let's Play, and I'm also going to do a Bioshock,
I fucking love that game.
Bioshock
It's
one,
such a
and
good
then
game.
that one is going to be next.
Also, I need the login information for Planet Unplugged. I still don't have it. But I'm just saying.
Meeting,
Well,
right?
for
Zap
why?
is probably Zap
Don't
is
talk-
probably
yeah.
listening to the Twitch.
I can't
right
help
now.
you with
Zap,
that.
send me the
I'm
goddamn
sorry, I
login
can't.
info. It's been 2 weeks since I've asked for it. Send it. I'm calling you out.
I'll laugh if he's left already.
Wubwave
Probably,
is
yeah.
getting.
I haven't seen him post any. Only Tejan's been.
You know what? Fine. Wubwave, I will.
Everyone
send him a text
watching,
message
send him a
telling
message
him
saying to
tell
give me the
you,
damn
so
info.
he'll have no
Send
excuse.
him a message.
I want him to come back and have like 15 messages saying
Where's
send
the
Wubwave
message?
the damn info for the Planet Unplugged login. Anyway, rant over. We have a lot of stuff. What?
Brilliant.
Lucas
do.
asked if we play Team
I
Fortress
play it, I
2.
just haven't
Have
recorded
we
it.
done one yet?
Lame. Just kidding. It's fine. Fine.
Any plans for a Borderlands prequel, sequel, Let's Play? Of course.
Even if no one plays with me, I'm
Yes,
gonna
definitely.
record it
yeah,
again.
dude, hell yeah.
I'd love to play some. I mean, I had a lot of fun with the original Borderlands. After we got over all the
So,
random crashing.
After we sang Snake Eater, that was fun.
Did we have a Halo Let's Play?
More Borderlands sing-alongs.
Did we have a Halo
Sing-a-lang.
Let's Play though?
Sing-alangs.
Did we ever have a Halo Spartan Ops Let's Play?
No.
Halo Spartan Ops is kind of overrated.
I still
You
need
can
to play
always
it, though.
watch Zach's
So-
one, which is
We'll
coming
play
out
it.
in
Just
the
don't
next
do a
few-
Let's Play of it.
I shouldn't say next few days because I don't know the schedule, but it's coming out soon.
So that is a yes. So that
Yeah,
that
Halo's
answers
one
my
of those
question
games
as a
that I
yes.
don't really have any desire to do a Let's Play of, just because it's fucking Halo. It doesn't really have much personality to it, just aside from it being fucking Halo. I would rather do a Let's Play of something that actually has some personality. So Borderlands makes sense because it's quirky, it's funny. There's a lot to go.
I had
off
an
of. It's
idea,
not,
and
it
tell
doesn't
me
take
if it's
itself seriously.
stupid. But
That-
I beat Metro 2033, and I noticed that in the settings you can change both the dialogue and the subtitles to Russian or another languages, like different languages. I wonder if I could do if I did the entire game in Russian, what that would be like.
Probably
Huh.
pretty awkward.
Probably.
Unless you're sitting there narrating their voices for them. If you're translating, them,
If I just made
That could
shit
be
up as I
interesting.
went.
yeah, absolutely. You can create your own story based off of just the Russian garble. Russian, I guess, is not garble; it's real Russian. But well, we'll take their word for it.
Well, it
It's
is a
Russian
Ukrainian
anyway.
game. It's a
We don't know.
Ukrainian game, so I would assume they would actually put in real Russian.
It'd be funny if they made
Oh,
like
okay.
they snuck in insults that weren't part of the actual like game. That only if you knew the language you'd get.
They're like, "Oh, get a load of these fucking Americans! They don't know anything." That was my impression of a Russian accent. It's so wrong.
Why'd the Russians
don't
turn
know.
Italian?
European? Vague European?
I don't know. Don't question it. Just
But
go
speaking
with
about
it.
stuff changing language, that happens a lot in like anime, where like the subs will have something different and you will read it and you're like, that doesn't make sense. And then they'll just sort of change it to make a little bit more sense in English when they finally make out the dub.
I don't understand. What are you
Don't
talking
worry
about?
about it.
Save it for the. Aren't you guys going to actually do that anime podcast sometime soon?
What a segue, Chaos. Yes, we are. Monday, I think. Monday.
Monday.
It's Monday.
It's Monday.
It's the new
Comes right
day
after.
of the week.
Between
Monday.
Sunday and Monday, it's Monday.
Smutty Monday.
Monday.
And you can watch all the smut you want.
Yeah.
So what's
Kind of
this
like we're just going to
anime
do a
podcast?
one-off
What's going on?
podcast with Chi-Jan and Terry and Chaos Man will be there, but he's probably not going to know anything. And me and someone else. Oh, Zap. Sorry, I forgot your name, Zap, but you didn't send me the login info, so I can't remember that.
Way to sell that shit. You don't even know who's on the podcast.
I'm not the
gonna
one
be
that's
furry
running
time.
it. I'm just there.
I do have to admit, it does sound interesting. If I knew more about anime, I would want to participate. I would probably be there and be like Chaos Man, and we're like, oh yeah, I've heard of that, and just kind of nod, and no one would be able to see me nod, so my audio track would just be
It'd just be
silent.
like a faint
So I'll just
rustling of your hair as you nod your head.
Yeah, so
No,
I'm
wait,
gonna
we
be a
put you on the
listener of that
video, so it's just your video of you nodding the whole time.
See, we could do that. We could be a part. I could do that. You could just record me nodding my head to everything that you guys are saying, and we could actually put that up on YouTube. So it's a visual podcast. So you listen to the podcast and watch me nod my head to everything you say. Yes, this is a good idea. Actually, I'm going to try and be there.
We have so the right side of the screen will be a game, and then the left side of the screen will just be Dark nodding.
Just put it on.
me
Just
nodding,
nod once,
yeah.
and we'll just put it on a loop.
And then later on, I'll put a song to it, and I'll remix it and look like you're head bobbing.
Put like techno music.
Oh,
What? Oh yeah.
sounds interesting.
You know what else sounds interesting?
What?
Oh, I don't know. Tejan Lee's not here to do his spiel, so I was hoping someone else would
What
do
is
it
the
for me.
podcast over
I
or
don't want to
something?
do it.
Are you ready? Are you ready to?
We're
are you ready to wrap up?
we're at 10 o'clock.
It's 8 o'clock.
And like I said, I've been doing the whole working late thing, and I can't really stay on too late with you guys. I've got to spend some time with Ken.
Yeah. Okay, so let's wrap it up, folks. The email is theforumthread@yahoo.com. Social media, we're on Twitter at the Forum Thread, Facebook / the Forum Thread, SoundCloud the Forum Thread. Subscribe and like on YouTube. And if you didn't catch the announcement, a lot of the Let's Play videos are being moved over, and going forward will be on Planet Unplugged. So if you haven't yet, like, share, all the good stuff on Facebook, social media, Twitter, SoundCloud. No, not on SoundCloud. On YouTube, Planet Unplugged.
Also,
look for
anime
us there.
podcasts Monday,
And that's it.
maybe,
It's Monday.
with a various
Anime
amount
Monday.
of people, varying amount of people. We don't know.
Shmonday. Okay, when you do this podcast on Shmonday, what time is it going to be? Because there are people listening to the Rooster Teeth
Shit, I
podcast.
don't
Will
know.
it be afterwards?
I was wondering about
Shit,
that, but
you
I
don't
hadn't
know.
said anything.
Ha! People are more popular than you.
I'm just trying to throw it out there because I mean I love you guys, but
Watch
I'm
the
like,
We can
podcast.
we can
podcast.
schedule it to either happen before, so then they can leave our podcast and go to the other thing, or the other way around. If they still are hanging out in the podcast, then we can switch
does-
over to it.
There you go.
Now you're using the
When
old
does the
noodle
RP
gut
podcast
job.
end? I don't
There
watch
you
it
go.
Their
live.
podcast starts at
A little after
7:30
9.
Central, and it goes. They usually keep to the standard like an hour and a half.
Yeah. Usually they go over a few minutes, so it's like 9:05 Central, 9:09.
Wait.
Okay, so it'd only be like
So
an
you're
hour
saying
later
that-
than what we were planning.
Their standard podcast is an hour and a half, and our standard podcast is an hour. So are we underachievers here?
Yeah,
Or
Mister,
should we
you're
be
wanting to
going
end
for
it
an hour
so
and a half?
abruptly.
I can talk about bullshit
No,
for
we
another half
always-
an hour. I have no problem with that.
Motherfuckers. No, we'll do this next
Oh, okay.
time. We'll do this
Are we
next time.
underachievers? We don't have to be. Let's just underachieve.
Let's just
Yeah.
underachieve today.
It's okay.
We'll get to it later.
Underachievers finish eventually.
Yep.
Good night, everybody.